Color grading can be incredibly complex, especially if you don't know where to start. So today I want to simplify the color grading process and offer one tool that can massively help you improve your color in your wedding films. Number one is to use your scopes. The reason these tools are so important is because your scopes help you analyze, measure, and fine-tune the exposure, the color, and the contrast of your footage. This is going to help you maintain the proper color range and exposure levels so that you can create a beautiful image. And while scopes are important to understand, it's also important to note that they're not a mandatory rule. For years, I colored just off of eye. When I discovered how to actually use these tools and how beneficial they are to the color grading process, it really helped just simplify and speed up my workflow. But at the end of the day, color is subjective and rules are meant to be broken. These tools are just simply there to help guide you and balance things to get the appropriate values so that you can create that beautiful end result and ultimately create the style that you're looking to emulate. Now, the scopes that I like to use is Vector Scope and the Luma Waveform. The Vector Scope represents hue, which is the color within your image, and the overall saturation, which is the intensity of color within your image. And this scope is really beneficial for your skin tones, and it also helps you balance the hue and saturation. Next is the Luma Waveform, which is the one that I use most often. The Luma Waveform measures the brightness within your image. The levels on the left side are values of brightness measured in IRE. 0 reflects your blacks, and 100 reflects your whites. If you see your image falls below 0, you may notice the shadows or blacks crushed with no detail left. So you want to keep your image right above that line, and the same if your image is above 100. This is where you're going to notice your image being overexposed. And the sweet spot for skin tones and exposure is right at or just below 75 IRE. So if you're not using scopes, I highly recommend you try them out so that they can help you simplify your color grading workflow, help you really dial in the exact measurements, the exact values of exposure, saturation, hue. And once you understand how to use your scopes, this is gonna help you really simplify and speed up your color grading workflow because you know exactly how to dial everything in to get the exact measurements you need. But again, color is subjective, and these are just tools to really help us achieve a certain look, a certain style, and once we know what they are used for and how to manipulate them, then we can break the rules to achieve that certain look. But video scopes are that one tool that I have to use when I'm color grading to really get the exact look and feeling for my film. So I hope you found today's video helpful and valuable in some way. If you did, it would mean so much if you consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, keep creating and telling beautiful stories. Peace.
Don't ask me why, 'cause I don't know. You're part of me. It's chemical. It's chemical. It's chemical.